Hello, everybody. My name is Tyler Ellison, and I am so excited to be sharing this very relevant video with you. So, I recently have been going very deep into diet therapy, the nourishing of the physical body, the upgrading and enhancement of the physical body and its ability to perform. This has recently been something that I have found to be very inspiring because of the nature of my own lifestyle, which is school. I'm learning traditional Chinese medicine and acupuncture. I also am essentially doing a full-time, business, channeling, and that is really, really exciting as well. And I also am like a person, right? So I have friends, I have family, I have social obligations, and these things. Right? I have many things on my plate, and as a result, I got really into body upgrading, enhancement, nutrition as a means of being able to keep up with what I've built for myself. The structure I've built for myself requires that I nourish my body, or I simply can't keep up with it. It becomes too much. And because of these upgradings, I have put a bunch of energy into physical well-being and nourishment. Now, I'm in a really great position because of this, and I feel great. I'm thinking great. Things are going very well. But I'm going out to a restaurant tonight where food quality is not as high. So, for those of you that don't know, organically grown food or biodynamically grown food is less contaminated with toxic pesticides. Pesticides are still there, but they're organic pesticides. That doesn't mean they're perfect, but oftentimes the synthetic pesticides in conventional produce is oftentimes, the effects from them are oftentimes much worse than the effects of organic pesticides. There's a lot of dangerous chemicals that are not allowed in organic farming that are allowed in conventional farming. And most restaurants are using conventional food, conventional produce, and many restaurants are also utilizing refined sugars, and they are utilizing low quality oils and fats. And when you have the low quality oils and fats and the refined sugars, your body gets very inflamed. Essentially, it's irritating. Those are irritating foods and compounds to the physical body. So for someone who is working on building a truly healthy body and temple, eating out at restaurants, generally speaking, is not something that's supportive of that. Now, there are many restaurants that are, and they're great, right? Very health food oriented, very high vibe. Those are great. The one I'm going to tonight, the restaurant I'm going to, is higher, I would say, in quality for sure. Like, they're using wild caught fish and seafood. A lot of the stuff is locally grown. A lot of it is foraged. It's like a very eclectic restaurant, and I love it. It's called Mia's Sushi here in New Haven, and it's only here for the rest of this year, and then I think they're moving on. So for those of you who are considering coming to New Haven, Mia's Sushi is a great spot. That's where I'm going tonight. And whenever I eat out at restaurants, I take a few supplements that allow for me to very easily neutralize any toxins that are present within the food. And these supplements also protect the gut lining. They tighten the gut lining so inflammatory foods won't break that lining open, creating tiny holes that trigger inflammation. So these supplements protect the integrity of the gut, and they detoxify whatever is going into the system. They neutralize it and help your body to remove it through passing of stool or urine. So let's get into these supplements. The first supplement is a great one. The name of the company has recently changed, but it is called Restore, and the company was Restore for Life. If you Google them, their name will come up, their new company name. Their product is great. This product, it protects the integrity of the gut lining, and it tightens tight junctions. So people that are sensitive to gluten or might have food sensitivities, they are in many ways you could say, more protected or better able to handle some of those irritating foods. This is like a buffer. It's like a shield for the intestines. So a level of protection is then offered to it from the irritation to the intestines. And it helps with the electrical stability of that gut lining and cellular communication, and it directly nourishes the bacteria, the gut bacteria, to be able to communicate with one another more effectively. So it's like hyper-organization and infrastructural upgrading of the intestines. So I take this whenever I'm going out to eat at restaurants, because like right there, I'm mitigating a great deal of any inflammatory effects. And we'll get into that. That's really important. We'll talk about why mitigating inflammatory effects from food and things is very beneficial for you and for all beings, really. Then we also have, this is activated charcoal. This is in powdered form. You can get it in capsules. It's best if it is from coconut. And with these supplements, activated charcoal, I do recommend David Wolf's products. He gets very clean activated charcoals. I find his company doesn't cut corners. They have good integrity, and I think they make fantastic products. So his activated charcoal is what I would encourage people research or look into. And activated charcoal, when it comes into contact with pollutants or toxins, it is able to adsorb them. It's a form of binding that is very unique and may be electrically mediated. It may have some sort of connection to that. Scientists are still speculating on how the activated charcoal does this, but it binds to toxins, it binds to pollutants, and it's so effective that it still is used in hospitals to treat certain types of poisonings, whether it be through a medication or alcohol. There are many treatment protocols where activated charcoal is in fact used. So it's a powerful detoxification supplement. It's not something to take anywhere near medication. It must be taken separately for medication or any supplement you need for your health, because it will absorb it. So make sure to space it out. Generally speaking, it's a 2-hour window that is recommended. So don't take your medication within 2 hours of consuming activated charcoal, essentially, as a guideline. Again, talk to your doctors. None of this is medical advice. This is my own protocols, but these are some facts and ideas about these supplements and how they might be very beneficial. So with this charcoal in the system, right, I would maybe take the dosage recommended on the bottle of the activated charcoal capsules, or take a serving of this before I would go and then eat. And with the Restore in my system, I'd take that first, maybe throughout the day, maybe a serving in the morning, serving in the afternoon, and then maybe 20 minutes to an hour before, probably 20 minutes I would say, maybe before I go to eat, I would take some activated charcoal. Or you could even take it with dinner. Just take it at the same time. That's another way you can do it. That's another way to explore. So you got to find what's going to work well for you. But I would say with the activated charcoal, it's best taken in proximity to the meal if it's a non-organic meal using conventional ingredients. And with the Restore, I would say use that throughout the day, sort of build up with that. You know what I mean? Be taking that, like this is very good if you're repairing the gut. So if you're doing like a gut repairing protocol or something like this, consider the Restore and, you know, build up a relationship with it. And that will increase the level of effect you'll get from the supplement. And that's how I would recommend considering to use the Restore. So the Restore one is best taken daily to help build up that intestinal integrity and the microbiome communication. The activated charcoal would be best taken in proximity to the meal that may have certain pollutants or toxins. The last supplement on this list that I'm going to talk about is Carbon C60, also a David Wolf product. You can get at his store online. Again, big fan of his stuff. A lot of people don't like him. I think he's great. I think he's a really cool person, and I think he is a wealth of knowledge. So I'm happy to talk about what he has to offer. But the Carbon C60 is a longevity supplement. It improves lifespan in mice and rodent studies by absurd amounts. It's probably the most potent longevity supplement that we know of so far in research-based endeavors, really. It's the one. And it gets into the fat of the body and it binds to toxins that the fat is holding. So it is for deep detoxification. This product is nice because it contains within it activated charcoal as well as the carbon C60. So it's this supplement and the C60, but in one thing. So this could also be taken in proximity to those meals. This is a great supplement. These are all really good tools. So for anyone who's sticking to a healthy diet and maybe you're traveling and you're going to be with your family and the foods there is not the healthiest, these are supplements that may be worth your while and could offer a great deal of assistance and support in that consuming of the meal and how it may affect your body. It can likely act as a bubble of sort of insulation for your body's health while it's consuming those foods. And I feel very inspired to share it because it's, these are nice tools, and they are here for us, and nature has made them for us. Scientists have helped us to produce them or alter them in whatever way is acceptable for the system, for the body. So it's these supplements, especially the Terrahydrate, which is the Restore. This is a bit of an innovation. This is a blending of natural acids and minerals found in soil and slight modifications of them. So they have this very absorbable effect. And this is the best of natural medicine and science coming together. And I think it's great. I think it's really good. So these are the supplements I would say you would benefit from if you were attempting to mitigate any types of inflammatory effects from food. How well does it work? Depends on your body, depends on the food, depends on how much of each, how much you take, and how much of the food you're eating. So there's many variables that determine how effective it is, but I have much reason to believe it is very effective. The reason it's important to keep inflammation down in your body is because inflammation is the underlying fire that fuels most diseases that kill people. That's kind of the truth of it. Cancer has an inflammatory, you could say, origin oftentimes through damaged DNA, inflammation damaging DNA essentially. And that can create mutations in cellular replication, and that's one means, right? Inflammation is associated with that. Inflammation can also decrease the sensitivity of your cells to insulin, and that can lead to diabetes. Diabetes is now considered to be the prerequisite for Alzheimer's. These are correlations that are now being made. We're able to see how many of these diseases that are very common progress into one another. So diabetes and insulin resistance is now seen as a marker on the pathway to mental decline through Alzheimer's when one ages. So inflammation is also connected to both diabetes as well as Alzheimer's, and there's also much research that supports the idea that inflammation is also behind cardiovascular disease. So you think of heart disease, you think of, we'll stick with that. It's pretty much cardiovascular disease is heart disease in and of itself. Let's think of like myocardial infarctions, right? A heart attack, right? This oftentimes has its origins in inflammation, because when there's inflammation in the body, it's creating the environment where cholesterol can then begin to stick to the blood vessel, the wall of the blood vessels, and it then gets attacked by the immune system, creating more inflammation, and it essentially forms this gunk that can clog arteries or can break off and create an infarction, an obstruction. So inflammation is really, in terms of longevity, living a healthy life, having healthy hormones, remaining vital, remaining youthful, keeping inflammation down is crucial, and diet therapy is one of the primary areas where you have the greatest amount of control over that. So I have recently taken my diet very seriously, and I've watched it benefit me, and these protocols I'm sharing are just some ways you can also help your body and its well-being and resistance to inflammation through contaminants within food. So I hope you all liked this video. I do need to let you know nothing in here is medical advice. These are just my own ideas. I'm not a doctor. If you have questions about these supplements, you can post them in the comment section. If you have medical questions about the supplements, that's a question for your doctor, not me. But feel free to write down below. These are really good tools, and I love them a whole bunch. So thanks for tuning in, everybody. Much love to you.